love India, bro. Gora in the Ganga. Something that happens only once every 144 years. The trashes tend to be left for the locals to resolve. You take the good with the bad. Sometimes you just gotta listen to the women. We're back. Back to Banaras, part 2. Hello. Hello. Har Har Mahadev. I'll read your future and tell you everything you need to know. Everyone talks about peace and love for Bhagwan, but they'll push and push and fucking kill people without any question. You can't laugh and joke and think it's completely fine while you're crushing grandmothers and grandfathers and children just trying to get darshan. Like, have some decency, man. Fantastic old electric scooter driver Amit is gladly taking us at 5 in the morning. We'll be taking the holy dip, and it's very cold right now. Very smoggy. So we're almost there. Just a quick observation. So we're making our way towards where Sector 6 is. At Sector 7.
We are in Sector 6.
There's a lot of cars, obviously, as you've seen. There's also a considerable amount of trash. A considerable amount of waste that's just been left. Lots of plastic bottles and things like that. I assume that these will be cleaned up post when the Kumbh is over. However, at least from my observational experience in other parts like Gujarat and Maharashtra, whenever there is a festival that has happened post that festival, the trashes tend to be left for the locals to resolve, as opposed to the state government that helps organize these events. So we'll see. I mean, I won't see, but I'm sure something on the grapevine will present itself to you or to me or to anybody else. So if anyone is in the area and you've seen what this place looks like post Kumbh, whenever you're seeing this footage, send me a DM, leave a comment, and tell me if the government has cleaned it up.
As Manu and myself continued our journey down towards the Mother Ganga, we began to experience this sense of awe and wonder as we realized we were also amongst thousands upon thousands of devotees that was taking the same very path to the river where we would be shortly. But on the journey, our driver Amit had suggested for us to do darshan, to bear witness to the Serpent King Vasuki at his famous temple in Prayagraj, the Naga Vasuki Mandir. Now Vasuki, the Serpent King, is famous in the Mahabharata and the Puranas as being singularly responsible for the churning of the ocean on Mount Mandara, and his responsibility was to behave as the rope for the churning to even commence. He's also known as the snake that wraps around Shiva's neck. So when we went inside, we looked around and we were quite perplexed at the beauty of the site and also at the state of the rubbish. But that didn't stop us, and we did darshan. We bore witness to the murti, the idol that is Vasuki. And as you can see here, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous sculpture. So after we were done bearing witness, after we were done with darshan, we continued our descent down towards the Mother Ganga. Manu and myself kept on laughing at how bloody cold the weather was at 6 in the morning down near the Mother Ganga. We hadn't even jumped into the water yet and we were freezing. But it didn't stop our journey, it didn't stop our quest. So on we carried and on we continued.
We're at the Ganga. So I'm gonna get ready and we're gonna take a dip and show you Fozzie's natural flesh. We've taken the plunge. Both Manu and myself, we've taken the plunge. Nice and wet. It's actually not that bad, to be honest with you. The water's
Let's do it again.
Oh, we're gonna do it again. Alright, one for you guys because otherwise you might not believe that we're taking the dip. Ready? Gora in the Ganga. That's gonna be the title of the YouTube video. All right, we're gonna get dried, get back on a dry land, and make our way to a Shakti Pith. I guess I'll just show you guys. This is the section of the Ganga the people are at. It's about 6 in the morning, 6:30, somewhere there. What an experience. From Australia to Bharat. Oh man, that'll put some hair on your chest. What an experience. All right. Time to get moving. Talk to you guys soon. As you guys can see, this is one of many sectors in Prayagraj, and it spans all the way up the Ganga, up to the Sangam, where the Yamuna and the Saraswati rivers converge. But there is hundreds of thousands, millions of people that are in Prayagraj right now. On estimate, as it currently stands, there's about 4 crore people every few days that have been coming into this area. And it is absolute chaos. But in all that chaos is a very beautiful concept, and that is to take a dip in the holy Mother Ganga to cleanse one's sins. And I'm blessed that I've been a part of it. Something that happens only once every 144 years. Man, what an experience. But anyway,
Thank you so much.
we're gonna head off and make our way back to Varanasi. So I'll talk to you guys shortly. I'm just gonna keep walking. So I've been dropped off in a town just outside of Prayagraj called Junsi. I thought it was pronounced Juicy. And now we're gonna find a cab that's gonna take us to a place called Hanuman Gun, which is where we will depart from and find essentially just some rickshaws that are gonna take us to Banaras. It's about 3 rickshaws we're gonna take. So we're going on a proper highway adventure. So in that direction is Prayagraj, where Mahakumbh is. In that direction is Hanuman Ghat, essentially a massive highway that's going to connect out the south of Prayagraj and hopefully bring us to Banaras before Surya sets for the rest of the day. So we'll see what happens. So stay tuned. All right, change of plan. Manu is very tired, so we're going to get a cab instead. So we'll be in Benares in a couple of hours. I would have liked to have done the other adventure, but sometimes you just got to listen to the women, and sometimes the women know best. So I'll see you guys shortly. All right, we got our cab. Let's rock and roll. All right. So we haven't made it the whole way. We've made it a portion of the way. We're about 14 kilometers out. There's roadblocks because everyone is coming from Maha Kumbh to Benares. And the reason that everyone's coming from Maha Kumbh in Prayagraj to Benares is because they've taken the holy Ganga dip, and now they're coming to Benares to go to the Kashi Vishwanath Jyotirling, where they will do darshan, which is a part of the pilgrimage, if you will, for many, many Hindus. Now, ultimately, it doesn't matter if you go to Kashi Vishwanath first and then to Mahakumbh, but you know, it is what it is. So some friggin' underpass. Oh man, I just hope we can get a rickshaw. But I have a suspicion that the rickshaws are going to charge like 4 times the amount, because they know that many people are going to get locked here. So anyway, we'll make our way. We've gotten here a lot faster than what we thought we would, so, well, you know, you take the good with the bad. All right, we're back. Back to Benares, part 2. The awakening. Still crazy as ever. It's actually more crazy now because of Mahakumbh. So, this is the driver that saved us. His name is Sunil. And he saved... I'm going to get hit by a car. And he saved us and he brought us back into Benares. Sunil, thank you, brother.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. All the best.
Okay.
Jai Shri Ram. Har Har Mahadev. Okay, we'll get moving.
Is it recording?
I'm just doing up this bucket.
But is it recording?
Ah, Benares. It felt like I never left you. But here we are again, and I've brought Manu with myself this time to show her the ropes of my veteran experience of 2 days. It was a fun walk to our hotel where we would spend the next hour or so sort of just relaxing, having a quick freshen up and changing clothes before we went out onto our next journey into the guts and subsequently around the back alleys and streets and just taking in the vibe and the mysticism that is Benares.
I guess I'll show you the room. There's the bed. There's a balcony out there I'll just show you in a sec. It's kind of comical in some instances. So this is the bathroom. It's actually quite nice. Hot water, which is good, so they say. So I think we just got to let it run. And yeah, there's actually no place to wash your hands. Where you've got to wash your hands is actually out on their little terrace, which is quite cute. And it's in a very old section of Benares. There is the basin. Here is our terrace. I don't know if we can open this. I assume we can. Fantastic, we can. We've got somewhere to hang our clothes, should we need to. Namaskar. So this is the little spot. This is our accommodation for the next 2 days. So it's a gorgeous little spot. And we're not far from the Kashi Vishwanath Mandir. We're not far from many places. There's many places nearby that we could just easily go and walk to. So, yeah, anyway. All right.
Oh, wait.
Gate 4, towards gate 4. Wait. Gate 4 to Kashi Vishwanath. Huh? Straight left and then, yeah, ticket. All right, we know our way. We kind of know our way. Anyway, we're gonna make our way to gate 4, which is the foreigner gate, but we're not going there for Kashi Vishwanath. I've come to the determination that as it currently stands, it's not going to be a place that we're going to go and visit. At least this time. We're going to wait till Kashi Vishwanath is back to its original form. So stay tuned for that in the near future. Hey, this is the bowl I was telling you about. I'm going to show you guys something. I'm not going to have much of a chance. I don't know if I'll get this chance again. Hello, hello. Har Har Mahadev. So, I'll show you guys something real quick. I'll show you guys. It's chaotic in here, man. It's absolutely chaotic. So, you know how I love my ancient history and my ancient architecture. So what am I going to show you to the locals? This is simply a trough for drinking water. But on closer inspection, you'll see this grooved cut in the basalt and these two grooved plunges that run all the way down. When I see this, it kind of reminds me of something that could be like a coffin or a sarcophagus with a lid that may have locked in place, or something else for another purpose. This architecture is part of the original structure of the building, which you can't see anymore, but it's incredibly old. So who knows, this what might be seen as a drinking trough might in fact actually be thousands of years old and we use for something else. Har Har Mahadev. I love India, bro. I'll read your future and tell you everything you need to know right here. This is what happens because everyone from Prayagraj has come here, and because it's so late, everyone wants to get to Arti, everyone wants to get to Vishwanath, and the police just keep blocking off roads. The police are actually, they're kind of disturbing the harmony. So what I've realized since being in Bharat, since being in India, is the way people move around and the way people travel via on foot or car, it's quite chaotic, but people still manage to get around. It still moves, there's still motion. But the moment that there's some sort of border or barricades that are put up because of the police or the army, everything just comes to almost like a standstill. And the ability to move around in real time just basically comes to a halt. Baby, watch out. So what you guys are seeing right now is the recently departed, the recently deceased, making their way down to the Smashan, the cremation ground, where they will be burned and sent back to the mother, sent back to Mata. This city, I feel like Varanasi is the kind of place that gives energy and takes and gives and takes and gives and takes in this cyclical sort of cycle and this cyclical nature, and it makes, I mean, me personally feel that the only way to like truly live in a city like this is to quite literally like go with the wind. You have to leave a lot up to Bhagwan, not in terms of your navigation, but in terms of your day-to-day. Planning seems to fall apart. I mean, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just Mandu, I'm not sure, but now it's my second time here, and both times plans haven't essentially fallen suit. They've just been thrown out of whack, but that's all right. They're just hanging around. right, we're gonna be having Shiv Bhagwan's prasad with Tandai at the Tridev Payne Guest House. So we'll give this a shot. I'm sure it'll be delicious. It might send us into a particular place, but it's the only way to live in Benares. Is you can't necessarily be completely sober in a place like this. You got to have a little bit of something. And all the boys in Benares, they want some photos. Har Har Mahadev. Har Har Mahadev. Har Har Mahadev. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram. Har Har Mahadev. Har Har Mahadev. Where are you from? Australia.
Maxwell bhai, Maxwell bhai.
Nice to meet you too. I just said 2 minutes ago, a give and take of energy, constantly back and forth. Constantly back and forth. But that's all right. All right. Shiv Bhagwan's prasad with Tandai. It's very thick and sweet, but it's... Yeah. Manu's got one as well, so we're gonna knock this back and go for a wander and check out some of the nightlife in Varanasi and see a couple of mandirs and just see where we go, I guess. It's very delicious. I'm so upset right now. So many Hindus will just come. Everyone talks about peace and love for Bhagwan, but they'll push and fucking kill people without any question. And they don't give a fuck, man. They don't care. This is why sadhus exist, bro, because these guys have just deterred themselves. They've just left it all. And people are just laughing and pushing and shoving. And there's like 80-year-old like grannies, 80-year-old Dadaji. I'm so pissed off, man. So Manu and I have just come through absolute chaos of the highest order.
I'm just going to check.
Tika. I guess just some thoughts. So we've just come past the guts, or come through the guts where the Kashi Vishwanath is. And guys, up discipline nahi. It's very disappointing. I'm very disappointed in the police here at the guts as well. They're just like lounging around, they don't really care. People are pushing and shoving, and Dadijis and Nanajis are essentially just getting like crushed. Children are getting crushed. You know, when I was in Prayagraj, I got told by many of the locals, in fact, that the stampede that happened almost a couple of weeks ago from this recording, wasn't actually 14 deaths. The real numbers are in excess of like 700 people died. Now, if that's something to take to your heart as a listener of my channel, I implore you to tell other people to really start showing some discipline, right? Because Bhagwan, whatever deity that you worship, is not going to take kindly to the way that you behave in situations where you essentially have to get from point A to point B. And when you act like animals, and I hate to use that term, man, but after experiencing this crowd at Varanasi, this post-Prayagraj crowd, it's very disheartening, man. It's very sad to see how people behave. You know, it makes you question, like, are some of these people truly understanding dharma? Are they truly understanding the nature of the faith that they like to believe that they adhere to? Because you can't laugh and joke and think it's completely fine while you're crushing grandmothers and grandfathers and children just trying to get darshan. Like, have some decency, man.